Hello, shooters, loaders, and casters. Welcome to the Friday night live stream of the Georgia Shooting Connection. Kyle, we really need some bumper music, brother. Kick us off. Get us started here,
Well, please enjoy this hold music while you wait.
man.
Good evening, everybody. Glad to see everybody in the side chat. Um, Welcome, Mr. Jerry.
Howdy, thanks for having me.
Everybody on the panel, thank y'all for being here. Let's just kick back, relax, wind down a little bit, and have a little fun. Jerry, what you got going
on? Well, actually, I'm a day behind on my days off, so that's why I'm home today. Just working like crazy. I've got to deal with the pickup coming up. We're trying to get our new house all put together and everything so we get it built. And just work, and my daughter moving into town, and we've been helping her get her house set up. Just a lot of family things. Unfortunately, not as much reloading stuff as I'd like.
Okay, I'll fill in. Unfortunately, the lack of reloading stuff is the reason a lot of us aren't doing a whole lot of reloading. I still got enough stuff to play around with, but I don't want to deplete my supply for something that I might need for something else. So, it's that kind of stuff. So,
well, I'm pretty well set. I'm still short on large pistol primers, but Uncle Jim gave me 500 when I went down and visited him. So I'm being very judicious about how much I'm loading right now. I've got a bunch loaded. I just haven't had a chance to even shoot any of it.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I've been busy too. And plus down here it's too dang hot to be outside shooting.
It really is unless you go early in the morning. Oh, wow. So,
yeah, fortunately, our temperatures have stabilized and we're back to seasonal. We're in the mid 80s, and that's been welcome.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping ours will fall down a little bit here in the next probably 2 weeks. Usually starts cooling off around the beginning of September, gets to where it's bearable.
Yeah, but it don't really cool off until October.
Right.
So it's like bow season, archery season starts the middle of September, and it's like nobody goes.
Yes. Well, it's 90 degrees. I mean, you want to dress up and all that crap to hide from a deer that you got to be 20 feet away from to shoot?
No, you go out and you sit in the woods, man. You're going to get mosquito bit. You're going to get ticks. You're going to get chiggers. Then if you kill a deer, all of those same things are all over your deer, and it's just not worth it, man, until it starts cooling off. Say like, 1st of October.
I always use bow season as scouting season.
Right. You go out there and you go out and you carry your bow or you carry your crossbow, and you're just scouting for when you can do real hunting. So yeah, it ain't no fun. There's Mac Man. Mac Man, are you hunting out still? I was going to send you an email to see if you wanted to join us, but Thursday night, well, I guess that was last night, wasn't it? You were still out hunting, I think. So glad you got one, buddy.
It's a good start in the freezer.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna kill as many as I can this year. I didn't kill any last year at all. I was going through some changes last year, but
you can come over to my house and we'll make all the deer sausage you can stand, as long as you let me have a little bit of it.
Good trade.
I got everything to do it.
yeah, I got all that stuff too. I'm trying to help Brian. CW Longshot is having. Y'all know he's a regular panel member with us, and just a great dude and a great source of information. He's got um, he's got these mold numbers memorized and all that kind of stuff. So,
Oh,
I mean,
he's a Rolodex for mold numbers.
he is, but his storm came through and wiped out his internet. So we're trying to get him straightened out at the same time we do this. And so if I seem distracted, I'm helping CW get back on the internet. And yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah, it's like
I'm just glad there wasn't any more damage because of Henri than what there was. You know, I mean,
It was terrible in Tennessee. My goodness. And I
yeah,
don't even think it was from that storm system.
that was another storm that came
Yeah,
up.
it was just a different storm that happened to be right there. And I think that storm system helped with that other one over there in Connecticut and all that.
It
Uh,
practically wiped that one town right off the map there in Tennessee.
Terrible.
yeah, I didn't see all things. I didn't learn everything I wanted to know about that. But here in a few minutes, when we get some more folks in here, we're going to talk about. Y'all know we don't. Hey, Lakeview, what's up, buddy? We don't
There's no
talk politics, but I think this week we got to talk about the news because there's a bunch of news that affects us, and we're going to try to keep it as non-political as possible. But the attack on our guys in Afghanistan is unexcusable, um, and that's probably all we ought to say about that. Somebody's got to keep the back door shut while people are leaving out the front door, and I don't think that's rocket science. I hate it happen, uh, but yeah, yeah. And Mario went off last night. Hey, Mario, and
you haven't heard my rant.
yeah,
Old thoughts of an old soldier had a doozy this morning as well.
yeah.
It, I, I don't have a problem leaving Afghanistan. We shouldn't have been there as long as we were to begin with. Um, what I have a problem with is leaving $600 billion worth of our military equipment there. We should have destroyed it where it sat. You
Here
know,
it is. We United States citizens can't get a 14-inch M4, but yet
but
we
we'll
can give
give
it to all of our
600,000
enemies.
of them to the enemy.
ACOGs, I mean, weapon systems, helicopters, Apaches. You know, I mean, we've got
This
state of the art equipment that we just dumped.
this
I'm
bungled
sorry.
up withdrawal out of this country has left Afghanistan with the 23rd largest air force, or I'm sorry, the Taliban with the 23rd largest air force in the world.
Yeah.
And it's all our stuff that we just, you can have it.
No, that's the not ready for prime time players in Washington. Dumb.
Oh,
I'm
it's
sorry.
definitely some Saturday Night Live skits, is what it is. But they don't do
I'm
that anymore.
I'm sorry. My blood pressure's going up, so I'm going to refrain from commenting. I've got a real uh,
Just say
connection with.
disdain.
I've got a connection with the soldiers that went to Afghanistan. When I was living in Iowa, I was working as a volunteer with the VA, and I was driving a van. I was picking up these wounded soldiers and taking them to the VA. So I got to know quite a few of them, and I have quite a connection. I mean, the military wouldn't let me re-enlist because they said retired meant retired, and so I had to do my part, and so I know the pain and suffering that so many of these people went through to try and do their duty to God and country, and then they just all of their efforts are just for naught. I'm sorry, I've been struggling for the past week on this, so I'm just gonna forgive me. I'll just refrain because you don't want to hear a old man rant.
I you're preaching to the choir though, because there's so many of us that feel the same way.
You got three old men that want to rant sitting right here on this panel.
And I'm not kidding. My blood pressure's been just sky high over this stuff.
Oh, speaking of which, I'm learning how to take blood pressure with a real, true to life blood pressure cuff. How many of you guys can do that?
With a sphygmomanometer?
Yeah,
That's what it's called. I don't know if you knew that or not, but that's what it's called.
Yep.
I actually have the directions. Yeah. And anyway, mine was 123/80 earlier this week.
No, that's great.
I tried to take mine that said tilt.
I hear you. Yeah.
I wanted to give one quick shout out to my brother Lakeview Outdoors. Last Sunday, I was in Salt Lake. I couldn't deliver anything else, and he come down and got me, took me to lunch. So I want to thank Lakeview for that. We had just a great visit, so we don't get a chance to see each other much.
That's always an unexpected pleasure, ain't it?
Yeah, it's great to have friends.
I read something today that talking about leaving all those weapons over there. If a U.S. citizen did the same thing, it would be a $600 billion fine, 12,000 years in prison, and something else due to their the what is it, firearm export law or something like that.
Well, here's another thing. Export laws, you can't send magnified optics out of the United States to a lot of the countries. That's one of them.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. There were so many violations. It was $600 billion in fines.
Okay, I want to address Thorzak's thing. It's not so much that we're leaving it there. Look at who the Taliban is deeply connected to. So any of that technology, Russia, China, Iran is going to take this equipment, and they're going to tear it apart, and they're going to catch up to our technology just that quick. So we already know that lunatic, that's 78-year-old lunatic, he's in bed so deep with China that he probably snores rice. But so we know what this is all about.
You can't talk about the potato and beef like that.
I was going to say the other end with rice, but anyway. Anyway, he's so in bed with China that that China's the one's going to benefit from this.
They're going to reverse engineer everything we left over there.
Yeah. And I just wanted to address that to Thorzak's. It's not so much that anything's going to be operational in 5 years. Probably not. It's just that ACOGs, okay, China hasn't had ACOGs, but they will now. They haven't had the technology on Apaches. They will now. They haven't had technology from our aircraft, but they will now. A lot of other weapon systems, computers and things like that just got thrown away. So, like I said, it just gets my blood pressure up.
Yeah, it's a bad deal all the way around.
Some of them are talking about missing guns and stuff like that in garrison and the camp and all that kind of stuff. I don't understand how anybody can lose their pistol or their M16, but then again, I've never served in the military, so I really don't have the wherewithal to say anything about that.
Just to reiterate on that, the guy they were trying to nominate for the leader of the ATF lost his gun in Waco.
Yeah. He also had his car broken into in Washington, D.C. about 8 years ago, and somebody stole his gun out of there.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they should outlaw crimes, not guns.
What a concept.
Yep. You're right, Scott.
Make stealing stuff double illegal. It's ridiculous.
No,
It's a damn clown show up there.
I'm with Scotsman on this, but
Yeah, you go out and you risk your life and get shit on when you get back. Anyway, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that, but
no, I did.
we got James Aveskage out there, buddy. We've been missing you. Glad you're back with us. There's his latest comment. We've been missing you, but we understand what's going on, and uh, our heart goes out to you, Brody. There's my
Congratulations on the new
buddy.
house, sir.
Welcome, Jesse B. Welcome, all you guys. I'll go through the side chat and call y'all out here in a few minutes. So James has moved. That's one of the reasons we've been missing him.
To New Mexico.
Yep.
Hey, there's CW in the comments.
Yeah, he's working on it.
Yep.
Oh crap! I left my phone outside.
Oh,
Yeah, you never know what'll happen during a live chat.
Well, we need you, CW, but take your time, man. Get it. They'll get it right here in a few.
Tread. Jeez, you all
Fred.
right now? There's somebody that's got some crazy schedule. I was just chatting with my buddy GGW earlier.
Hey, quit.
Oh, I was gonna say we were talking lever guns and stuff. GGW got a new Henry lever gun. He got the Golden Boy. Sorry, GGW. Didn't mean to spill the beans.
So
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I put a post similar to that on Facebook the other day, Scotsman, and you would not believe I've had like 4 or 5 people share it already to their news feed. So we're not the only ones that feel that way, but and it's just it's time for us to take our country back. What do we got to do, man? What do we got to do?
Short of a 1776, I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm about to say. Hopefully, we can voice our opinion with the potato heads that we elected to put in politics.
Not all of them were elected.
Yeah, one side or the other, and doesn't matter. But maybe we can voice our opinion and get them to make some changes on their own or step down, and let somebody else in there with a different mindset or a different end goal or something like that that meets the statutes of what we as constituents agree to. If we can't do it that way, then it's probably not going to be pretty.
Speaking of constituents, every time I hear media or somebody else say our elected leaders, they're not our leaders. They're our representatives.
Yeah, they ain't leading me to nothing.
And that's where this whole country has gotten completely off track. Is we're looking at them to lead us. We should be leading them, and we should be telling them.
Exactly. I got 2 leaders in my life, and they ain't none of them. That would be my girlfriend and God.
Yeah. That's why I was just looking to see if my other leader was around the corner.
You got that backwards, Kyle. In that order, you got them backwards.
Well, you're right, but no, there's only 2. It doesn't matter. They both hold the same the same priority.
Well, you're going to get me started preaching here in a minute. Nobody wants to hear that because that's not what I do.
I feel terrible that the events happened and more of it's going to happen. And I hate to say that, but when you have the lack of leadership running the military that we have right now, and that includes other military leaders, they've all just fallen into this bucket. and none of them can lead anything.
And that's what I was trying to say. What Scotsman said, short of a 1776. I don't know. I'm out of ideas. And voting, we already saw that voting doesn't work anymore. So I really don't know. Yeah, exactly, Thorzax. And Afghanistan was corrupt before. It's corrupt during. It's corrupt now. It's never going to be anything but corrupt. That's just the only kind of lifestyle that they've known for 2,000 years.
Well, they've been. You got different tribes, and then they call themselves tribes of people over there that've been fighting over the same damn sand for 5,000 years.
Right.
I mean, what are we gonna do?
No. And like I think it was Thorzak said, we'll be broke. Every country that's ever tried to go in there and take over Afghanistan has gone broke. And just recently look at Russia. The Soviet Union went bust and they became the Russian Republic. The rate we're going to be broke even without Afghanistan, but that's going to probably be a kicker.
We probably should have brought all that military weaponry back and recycled it to get some money.
Yeah, they could have sold it. Probably paid off part of the debt.
Golly bum. I can't imagine that. I never thought that I would see anything like this. But, it's happened before in history. It'll happen again.
James, I got this old rifle, but I think Scotsman's got dibs on that one to help him out and get some work done. We'll see what happens. Yeah, exactly, Mario. And we got to get off the politics thing before
So how
everybody.
about the Braves?
Yeah, man. They won 9 straight and 11 out of 13, and then they turned around and lost 2 straight to the Yankees. But they start playing again tonight. They've been off 2 days. Do you realize how rare it is, other than the All-Star break, for a baseball team, a professional baseball team, to have 2 off days in a row? I mean, seriously. But yeah, how about them Dodgers, Mario? They coming to Atlanta next week, right when the rain starts. So
Yeah, the Dodgers can play in the rain.
yeah,
They've done it before.
so.
That's the killer thing about baseball. They don't play it in the rain. They cover the field up and everybody sits in the dugout.
Well, it depends on how much rain.
Okay, do we have any new reloaders out there? Or do we have anybody that's on the verge of starting to reload and working that way?
Holy crap, Jamie, it's raining now. Well,
No way.
I wouldn't call it rain, but there's moisture falling from the sky. Maybe it's just dewing real heavy.
Right?
Yeah, Uncle John, the Yankees came in for 2 on Monday and Tuesday, and then they were off Wednesday and Thursday, and then either San Francisco or the Giants come in. All right, GGW says Braves game in rain delay. Far out, man. So we're not the only one that watches the Braves, huh? K24 is a new reloader, please.
Yeah, right.
I'm not saying that I watched them. I was just changing the subject.
I hear you. Yeah, the Yankees are red hot, but the Braves were too. They'd won 9 straight. The Yankees had won 9 straight, so it was a good. They waxed them that first game. The second game was good and close. Okay.
Yep, you ain't wrong, Thor. It's weird.
He just cuts to the quick of the matter, doesn't he?
Well, it is Spicy Friday.
That's a good one, Signal Soul.
Hang on, wait, that's flying.
Yeah, I can't keep up.
That was a good
Yeah.
one. Okay, I saw it then. You're scrolling
See,
through them too quick, Jamie. I can't read both things at once. I'm in the dark.
Some beard care products.
yeah, that's important to a guy like us, man. Uh, so, okay, that's the reason you would know about the Braves game tonight. Otherwise, you wouldn't know, right? Is that what you're saying, Daniel? What's a reloader?
That's that ride that's in the end of your blunderbuss.
Oh, we got
Uh,
West Covina here.
hey, Pat, what's going on, man?
Good to see you, sir.
Yeah, bless your mouth. That was fingers, though, wasn't it? Yeah, y'all are blowing me up. We got 50 out there making comments right now.
Bless their
Okay,
hearts.
Milton at North Cobb. Milton is Alpharetta. North Cobb is right around, just a little bit past where the Braves are. So, Uncle John, those are two really good teams from rich areas of town. So, Alpharetta is where TPC. Uh, there's a PGA golf course, PGA owned golf course right there at Milton.
So
So
We got Georgia boy here. He's his family's been down sick.
I did not know that. Hey, Georgia boy, we hope you're feeling better, Pastor. Hope the family is as well.
Yeah, we got a little bit of it floating around at work. Got a couple of guys out.
John, that's one thing. John's hand loading. Um, I watch a lot of Johnny's reloading bench, and he ain't been quite so lucky with 308. Maybe he's got some good loads that I hadn't seen yet. But and I'm watching a lot of 6.5 Creedmoor videos. That's my next project. So yeah, it's like he always talks about maybe I just really suck at loading 308. Well, probably not, man. I don't know that he's bad at loading anything, but it's interesting to see some of the people that you wouldn't think struggle with different cartridges.
Pat just put a comment up. Said just fill the 308 case with Varget so it crunches when you seat it and you're done. I use 4064 with the same concept. It is a compressed load. You start pulling down on that handle and you hear it go, and it works great out of my gun. It loves it. Jamie shot it.
JC, JCM, I am not watching his chicken series. I probably should. Um,
Chicken series.
Yeah, that was a new one on me.
and Scotsman's got a topic,
Hey,
and
Walter.
now we want to get to the one that we wanted to talk about. Where is everyone seeing in stock products? I am. I went by a local gun store today, and they had a lot of good powders. They had Varget. I started to buy some because I've never played with Varget, and I hear all you guys talking about it all the time. $49.99, and I decided to leave it with them.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a little high. I got plenty of it in the gun safe. If you need some, stop by the house.
um, Walks Fletcher. That's interesting, Pastor. I'm gonna have to check that out too.
Yeah,
Um,
as far as brick and mortar stores, I haven't had a chance to go and chase down any of those. I've been doing everything online, and between graphs, getting the 45 Colt cases that I just got from graphs. Optics Planet's had all kinds of bullets that they keep alerting me on. Uh, who else? Uh, Powder Valley has had powders in and out. I still not seeing primers, but um, I know Georgia Boy got some from Brownells, and when I went in there, they were already sold out. So that's just the way my luck is. But
Yeah, it's the way it goes.
I
And okay, all right. Here's an ammunition topic. What do y'all think about this ban on Russian ammo?
Yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to talk about too.
yeah
Like the Scotsman's done covered that, so there's no need in us rehashing there.
Was it
It's,
was it 75.99 for both boxes, or was that per box?
that's per thousand, I'm assuming.
you're not going to see $35 per thousand again.
I'll pay 45 a box. I mean, I understand prices go up. I mean, we're in a massive inflation crunch and all that stuff. I understand it goes up, but I still need them.
The best price that I've seen for primers, and then they were all out. I mean, they were only up for maybe 5 minutes of $65.99, and almost everything I'm seeing is up in the $70 range. And if you're
I
gonna
like
pay more, if you're gonna pay more than that, you're paying way too much.
I like
Even
the
the
way
new
Kyra just put it. You're going to see half priced AKs in 2 years.
Well, that's another thing. I don't have an AK. I've got an SKS. So I mean, I shoot 7.62 by 39.
Right.
But years ago, I started weaning myself off of Russian ammo because it's all steel case, it's all Burdam primed and everything, and I started finding brass at that time, and yeah, I mean, the I'm not happy about this Russian ammo deal because it's going to trickle down. If anybody watches Tools and Targets, he just came out with a video this morning, and like he says, this is going to trickle down to the other calibers because it's going to be short, and so people are going to go and buy other things, and yeah, it's going to have a big ripple effect. But it's still they shouldn't be doing this. They use any excuse they can.
That's what we're thinking in my little circle of friends. That
Yeah,
the ammo started to show back up and all that stuff, so we got to do something else.
yeah, can't make it too easy for the Second Amendment community.
Well, which is why that everybody that is because we all reload, and that's the reason that we're going to have a couple of rounds of ammo here in a year.
Yeah.
That ought to tell you where his heart is, Rebel. Right there. That's it right there. That kind of sums it up, don't it, guys?
That is beautiful right there.
Yeah. Yeah, and screw the American people, but let's give everything to foreigners.
No, to the enemy. It's not foreigners; it's the enemy.
They're giving a lot of stuff to foreigners that aren't enemies too. I mean, look at how they throw open the border and
So, what are they charging for uh, a normal person to go into Afghanistan and buy a Black Hawk? What's the going rate? Because they're going to sell them; they can't fly them.
Mario, I went with one of my good friends, Frog. Kyle met Frog before he passed away,
I sure did.
and me and him went over to the CMP in Anniston, Alabama, and he bought one. He was a member of the uh, Garin Collectors Club, and he just went in, showed him his ID, and flopped down 11 $100 bills, and we walked out with a gun. Then he spent another $200 on ammo, and when he passed away, his son loaded it in the car and drove it home with him all the way out to Arizona. But I sure do miss him, man. I miss Kyle and Garrett. I wish, and of course I miss Frog. Uh, there you go. Maybe somebody can help out Mr. Walter. Depends on depends
he,
on
he
what
We're on base with each other. Got it. Oh, Fuzz, who told you that? We got all these. Hell, they got a bunch of damn drones too.
Now, see, when he said, my mind didn't even go there. I'm back in guns and reloading and ammunition. I'm thinking about a Ruger Blackhawk. I'm thinking, well, it depends on what caliber.
Oh goodness.
Yeah,
Oh,
y'all got.
I've got a new addition to the back porch that y'all haven't seen yet.
All right, cool. Pretty neat, man. Man, is it already dark outside?
Yeah, that's why I just turned the light on because I couldn't see myself. It's dark and sprinkling a little bit here, but I think it's about done. It's just enough to make the plants think they were getting water.
I see I'm not the only one. Acts like that. Broke loader wants beer, Kyle.
Well, I don't know if there's beer in there. It's got quite a bit of food.
Yeah,
Let's
hang
talk
on to your
about
fridge
this.
because they're rare.
We're going to talk about this, and we're going to get off of this political stuff. It's not really political though; it's news, and there is a difference. Um, they should have blown that crap up
Yep.
before they, you know. I
There's
mean,
nothing
at least
like.
when we left Vietnam, we threw the helicopters, the Hueys. We threw them in the bay. You know.
Yeah, they dropped them in the damn rivers and everything else.
Yeah, I mean they were pushing helicopters off aircraft carriers and stuff like that, just so that it wouldn't shooting on the doorbell's going, just so it wouldn't be used by the enemy. But we still left a lot of stuff behind there too.
Daniel, don't be starting rumors, buddy. You're gonna have these reloaders over there at Kabul trying to get the primers out of the airport.
They're in the bathroom number 2 under the toilet tank, taped to the top.
Be right
Well, there
back.
you go, Willie.
I did see where they had a group of them flying around in a Black Hawk, and the only thing that I can think of is the person piloting that Black Hawk was an Afghan soldier that defected that we trained. Because the Taliban can't hardly steer a camel, much less fly a Black Hawk. There's a 45-minute process to crank the damn thing. All right, shutting up.
JCM, you're on our prayer list, buddy. That's what I'm talking about. If you go over there
Good
with
night,
the
JC.
one Enola Gay and turn about 6 inches of that sand in the glass, your problems disappear. Sorry.
Turn into the next 1,000 years supply of light bulbs and liquor bottles.
Well, there you go, man.
I forget who said that, but it was brilliant when they did. Some comedian. I don't. Hell, it might have been even been George Carlin. I don't remember.
I think it's raining here now, Kyle.
It's just crap rain. It ain't rain. Yeah, just vapor. I like that. Yeah, it was a total debauchery of anything that resembles leaving a country when your military's been there for that long. It just. Mm.
Yeah.
But Willie, you forgot to tell him to say it in that smooth jazz voice.
Nobody can do that but JCM.
I know, right? It's it's the uh, biggest debacle I ever seen. That's all I can say about it.
There's Mark, and you're right too. 67 Rebel, worse than Vietnam.
Did you see where the same Chinook that was flying the last people off the embassy in Vietnam was flying the people off the embassy? It had the same number and everything off out of Afghanistan. Oh, the same ID number. I was
Mushroom
like,
cloud.
what?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Well, when we have no new reloaders apparently, except K24. Um, but just for K24, I want to talk about Headspace tonight. Do y'all want to hear about Headspace?
Headspace, headspace. Oh, sorry.
Yay! Headspace. Sorry. Sorry, I had a salesman at the window or at the door, and I had to tell him, "Hey, we're selling our house. We don't need new windows." And I've got my dinner here, so I'm going to cut my camera.
Yeah, I still got to work on something to eat. I hadn't figured that one out yet. Which platform for Headspace?
I'll Walter's going to Walter will straighten us out if we go astray. That's a good one, Signal Soldier. We're going to talk about just a few of all of them.
Whoa.
I ain't said anything, Willie.
No.
Well, there you go, K24. 6-shooter Texan. My head is in space. Before we do that, let me call all y'all out. Apparently, we got a dog fight going on in the other room.
Yeah, I had one of them earlier.
It's kind of funny. So at 8:31, we had tacos and French fries. I'm hungry again now. Dude, that's a great handle.
Del Taco. I'm on the way.
Thorzax. We got Willie Bullet Man, John's Hand Loading, Tim S., GGW Reloading, Michael Hurtnett, 6-shooter Texan, James of Vestige, Walter Bunning, 67 Rebel SST AMC, Uncle John, Kyra Just Some Guy, Fuzz T Fork 8. I said JCM 45. We got Georgia Boy 44. Let me put that up there because that is a fact with my hand up. We got Signal Soldier 31, Cranky Cletus, Andy 79 Z28, Mario Mosen, GGW Reloading, William Ganley, JCM 45. He's already gone. I hope everybody feels better, buddy. John's Hand Loading, Mike Hester, Reloader 762, Tim S., William C. Chapin, Tread, West Covina Dodge. Jerry 1911 is on the panel. Excuse me. John's Hand Loading, I think I done said that. Mike Hester, 67 Rebel again, Mario again, James of Eskage again, Walks Fletcher. Broke Loader, what's going on, man? You know, we've been doing this for a while. You haven't been our guest yet, buddy. You need to come on with us one of these Friday nights when you can.
We're all broken loading.
Right. We all broke loaders now. Daniel God is my judge. Signal Soldier. Tim S. Cranky Cletus again. The Crazy Scotsman. Hipparchus. William C. Chapin. MCK. Tread says it's not raining there, but I heard it raining here. Hope, and we got Big E out there. Michael Hurtneck. There's Mr. Pollard. What's going on? We're the Bullet Man again. Tread again. Lakeview Outdoors. MCK again. Walter Bunning. Signal Soldier 31. Big E. Crazy Scotsman. West Covina Dodge. K24. Mainly subsonic. Yeah, it's raining for sure. Broke loader again. Uh, and I think that's all. If I didn't call your name, put a comment out there. There's Miss Kitty. What's going on? Yeah, we're blessed, K24. Unbelievable, man. To think that so many of you guys come hear us on Friday night. There's Sergeant Devil Dog. What's going on, buddy? Earlier we had Senior Master Sergeant Bulldog was in the making comments before we ever even started, and we got Max Bear and MacMan 039 and Fuzzy Fork 8. I think that's coming over my internet connection, ain't it? Come on, stay on, power. Come on,
Yeah,
bro.
there goes my internet. It just happened again.
Okay, Rebel says he might have his sister send me the powder in a flat rate box. Don't get caught doing that, buddy. It's all right if it goes through. Okay.
It was powder coating. He said that to ship it up to Alaska, they wanted 135 for uh, shipping charges because he wanted to know if that was hazmat. No, powder coating is not hazmat.
Not at all.
So that's what he's talking about. He's not talking about
gunpowder. Cool,
yeah.
man.
Sorry, but I'd better jump in.
And Jason Stewart is listening. So thank all you guys for being here tonight. And we want to talk about uh, my neck will work. Headspace. What do y'all know about Headspace? I found some drawings and a let me see if I can make it share here. And a definition, and I'll read this. Right. Sorry, Mike. All right, this is from Gun Info 101, and it's the daily bulletin. Let me get this back up here to start. What is Headspace? Definition and illustration. There's your good illustration. You can see that our rimless cartridges, which is what this one is, headspaces off of the datum line here. So this is your headspace right through from the bolt face to the datum line. And this is a 308 Winchester. So okay, I'm lost. Yeah, Ackley Improves a different animal. We probably ain't gonna talk about that tonight. Okay. What is Pat going for? Let me back up here and find out what Pat said.
He's sending a scaled Uncle Jim. Reads it in point zero. Yeah. Okay, there it is.
H110 is the stuff, Cranky. I don't know anything. I've never played with Ackley Improved. Willie probably uh, more. There's AOK Foraging and Adventures. She might can learn something
Hey, Doug.
about headspace. Yes, ma'am. And if you look at the datum line is somewhere on that cartridge shoulder. To find out exactly where it is, I recommend that you go look up a SAMI drawing for that particular cartridge, and you can find out exactly what the datum line is. HIPAA, what's going on, buddy? He says Ackley uses a 40-degree angle, if I remember correctly. So this shoulder right here is going to be at a 40-degree angle, and I think most of them are 30. Rebel says factory chamber bump that shoulder 3 to 5,000. Custom chamber bump at 1 and let her eat.
I take all my 308 back too, and that works really well for me. And it also keeps you if you set your dials up the way they tell you to in the little manual that comes with them, you're going to be really overworking your brass. If you show them your gauge, Jamie.
I will in just a minute.
Yeah, you still got yours set up, but if you get a gauge that'll actually tell you where you're at, you can custom tune your dies, and you'll be working the brass a lot less and get a lot more firings out of it. Well, when it comes to 308, you might get 5 to 7 more, but that's still 5 to 7 more. So,
Curtis, I have a Lenovo laptop. Um, it's got an AMD Ryzen processor. I don't even know what model number it is. It's just the generic thing, whatever they give us. So, yeah, so 2000 seems to be the sweet spot in bumping your shoulders back. And I've heard good things about that round. The 260 Remington is one of the bench rest shooters. Guys that don't shoot 6.5 Creedmoor, they're using that 260 Remington. Some of them, a lot of them are using 284 or something now. I don't know.
He's got the 260 Ackley Improved. Is what Rebel's got.
Right, but and that's what I'm saying. I've heard good stuff about that round. I know a lot of guys are using 260 Remington in bench rest, but for that long range stuff, out to 1,000 yards and beyond, um, like what Kenny and Eric Katina and those dudes are shooting, they're using a 284 something, and I don't remember what it is.
284 7mm, right?
It might be. There's Rune. What's going on, buddy? Long time no see.
yeah, it's been a minute.
Um,
I think it's a 284 rim mag. I think is what they're chopping down and reshaping.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. 284 7mm. But you've got a lot of different cartridges in the 7 millimeter range.
That's a big family.
Yeah. I mean, it's as big as the 30 caliber family.
That's a bigger family. But the great thing about any 30 cal that you can find is you can use pretty much the same bullets in every application as long as it's not a tube fed magazine.
Right.
I'm sorry I didn't find y'all. I was trying to get to the link, but the side chat keeps going. I'm trying. Thanks, Tread. Appreciate the help, buddy. But
Oh, he's on top of it as usual.
that is exactly the link I'm showing y'all. And let me get back over here, and we'll go down a few minutes, a little bit right here. Of course, Brownells has a video about tech tip headspace. What is it? Right here's the definition. I'm not sure y'all can um, read it. In firearms, headspace is the distance measured from the part of the chamber that stops forward motion of the cartridge, the datum reference in parentheses, to the face of the bolt. Used as a verb, headspace refers to the interference created between this part of the chamber and the feature of the cartridge that achieves the correct positioning. Different cartridges have different datum lines and different positions in relation to the cartridge. For example, 5.56 by 45 millimeter NATO ammunition headspace is off the shoulder of the cartridge, whereas 303 British headspace is off the forward rim of the cartridge. If the headspace is too short, ammunition that is in specification may not chamber correctly. If headspace is too large, the ammunition may not fit as intended or designed, and the cartridge case may rupture, possibly damaging the firearm and injuring the shooter. And if you look at this drawing right here, you'll see that the headspace on a rimmed cartridge, on a rimless cartridge, is from the bolt face up to the datum line. On a rimmed cartridge, which is the second one down, the headspace is basically from the front edge of the rim to the bolt face. And then on a belted Magnum cartridge, its headspace is from the uh, front of that belt to the bolt face. That's your headspace. Then goes on to talk about headspace gauges, and that's basically what the gun builder is using to set the headspace when the gun is being manufactured. And the purpose for a field gauge, as I learned in my reading, is to field gauge is if your bolt closes on a field gauge, you probably don't need to be shooting the gun. So it's yeah.
I tried to get there, Jerry and Tread. I just couldn't figure it
Yeah.
out.
I was a little slow.
I don't have my mouse in front of me. I was trying to figure out how to right
M-
click. I'm like,
Must have been one of those demented 78-year-olds' best friends popped in because it looked like some of their writing.
You notice I waited till I was off of the thing and going to reading all that stuff. They pull some crap like that. That's interesting, Big Al.
that is.
And Fuzz, I don't know where that came from, but thank you. Yeah.
That is different, Fuzz.
Okay. Then we got when we get to pistol, it's a totally different animal. So I think I can stop sharing right now, and Yeah, that's what I want to know because after all, Kyra, nothing says happiness like a belt-fed weapon, right?
You don't care about magazine capacity bands when you got a belt fed.
There you go. Happy birthday again, Mario. I hope you got what you needed, buddy.
Oh, happy birthday, mi amigo.
Yeah, Big Al's having water problems.
Bummer, man. Oh man, check that out. Room loaded 800 45 ACPs. Okay, so I just happen to have a 45 ACP case right here, handy. And so when you get to these semi-autos, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but we all know that they had space off the rim right here. That there's a cutout inside there, uh, inside your chamber that stops the forward progress, and that that's how that works. Then this one right here happens to be a 45 Colt, but you can see that it is rimmed, so it probably had spaces off of that rim. Um, I'm assuming, Dave.
Come in with posting Chinese on there, or
Yeah,
some Asian language. Wasn't English.
It looked to me like Crooked House, Dragon, Jackal, Sparrow,
then we
which
got
tells me he was involved in a mudslide and his baby got eaten by a bird. Oh,
then we got 30-30, and
that's a
it's
prime example right there.
it's supposed to headspace off the rim, but I load mine to headspace off the datum line of the shoulder. Because when I headspace off the rim in my gun, uh, the primers are backed out. But when I set my headspace here on the datum line of the shoulder, and that's a sufficient shoulder on 30-30. I get more firings out of my brass. I'm not work hardening it as much, and my primers are still in the bottom of the primer pocket. Okay, so I'm feeling like headspace is flopping on the floor.
No, I mean it's actually very important. You'll see it on paper when you figure it out. You'll find what your rifle likes, and you can see the results on the paper. You don't want to go too much. Like I said, it'll just overwork your brass, um, and you don't want to go too little because your brass will get stuck. You know, that was my dinner order in China.
So I do think that's an important topic to talk about, James, and I think humidity is going to get you if there's any humidity out there in New Mexico. Uh,
He won't have a lot.
Look at that one. Yes, sir, I do.
He doesn't have to deal with the humidity issues that we do. I mean, 40% is considered high humidity out there. That's considered extremely dry here.
Yeah, New Mexico's not humid.
Used
Yeah,
to
but
kill me when I lived in Vegas. It'd get up to 40% humidity and they were just dying. I'm like, this is great. Maybe 115 degrees, but ain't no humidity.
He's saying he's at 7,200 feet of elevation. Yeah, definitely have a heater.
Yeah, I would recommend that, especially in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to keep that change in temperature is going to be what gets you out there. I'm afraid you're going to get some condensation on stored brass and stuff like that. So Mr. Leverguns is out there. Hey, buddy, I hope your wife's doing much better.
Dang, apparently a lot of people are sick right now.
Yeah. George Boy, we just had a thunderstorm roll through here, man. My power blinked for a second.
Yeah, I got kicked off the internet twice. We're not extremely close to each other, so whatever happens to me happens to Jamie about 30 minutes earlier. So it's coming.
There you go, Pat. That's helping. Yeah.
Wow.
West Covina. Yeah, let's oh see West Covina, I'm slow, man. I'll get it tomorrow sometime.
I'm ignoring Lakeview.
Who wants a carbine action air rifle with a compass in the stock in this thing which tells time?
Well, I was thinking a 65-foot yacht,
Well, with a helicopter pad, helipad.
I mean,
You
if
gotta
he's
have.
asking what's on my wish list,
Yeah, one of those Black Hawk helicopters from Kabul, Afghanistan.
I'm
I
wondering
know.
what the going rate is. I mean, I
I
can
just
actually probably get it out of there.
I'd just take the M4 and the ACOG. I'd be happy.
I used to have a pilot's license. I might be able to get it out of there.
Hey, I've flown a Huey. Does that help?
Yeah, Rune, I think that's pretty important. You're in a place where you need to take it, and you've got a condition that makes you need to take it. I think it's important that you do.
I haven't seen Julio tonight. I saw he put a video up. I hadn't got around to watching it yet.
Yeah, where is Julio? Thanks, John. Hand loading. That's what we need. Uh, Prayer is the most important thing we can do for each other. It's the most powerful thing. Yeah.
That's
So,
enough. Quit.
yeah. Yeah,
Buster.
Fred. Chico might pop in any minute. You never can tell. But he does have to leave a lot at work, so uh, he got to keep his job time up. Okay, back to Headspace. But we're losing viewers talking about Headspace, so I don't know. Okay, here's a 30-30. I'm going to talk about 30-30, Pastor. Here we go.
Good one,
This
Jay.
one has been fired in my gun. Okay, so this is a little cheap pair of $15 calipers I got from. It says Pittsburgh. Y'all know where it came from,
I got two of them.
and
They work great.
all this one does is measure cases. So that's the Hornady overall length gauge. So I'll take, and when you move it, it comes on. Can y'all see that? Of course, y'all know all that. So I'm going to put this in here and see where it stretched to in my gun. And 38.26 millimeters ain't telling me nothing.
The other button. Well, far left there on top.
Okay, so I do have the anvil on there, and one thing the reason I choose to use this for only that purpose is you can zero it, and I'm actually reading a reference number, and I'm not out in space somewhere. You know what I mean? With if you put this contraption on your dial calipers, you're going to have to you need to subtract that. But it don't matter what it says. It's all a relative number anyway. Okay, so we're going to take this fired case, and y'all saw that this one was 1.506, right? So now we're going to take one that I've resized and see how bad I did. That one's been cleaned. I'm not sure if it's been sized yet or not. Yeah, that ain't good right there. That one's all the way down to 1.497 with a 5. That's 9 thousandths of case back. So if you don't use this and bump it back 2 thousandths or 3 thousandths for a lever gun, then you get the brass is stretching. So this is good to let you know how to set up your sizing die, right, guys?
Yes, sir.
So if you read the directions, your directions are going to tell you to set up your sizing die. Raise the ram up. Screw the die down till it touches the shell holder, and then another half turn and tighten it down. So you're going to be sizing the crap out of your brass, which is what this. There's no reason to bump your shoulders back 9 thousandths of an inch, and you can also see that bump right there where it didn't get all the way sized, even when it's down that far. So yeah, just some stuff. Uh, I don't really trim pistol brass, but when I'm doing the rifle brass, I'll deprime, clean it, lube it, size it, throw it in the tumbler, the dry media tumbler, to get the lube off of it. Then I measure it and see if I need to trim it. And if I need to trim, I trim. If I don't, I don't. Most of the time with bottleneck rifle cartridges, you need to trim most of the time. I hate to say it, but if you trim them all the way back to 10 thousandths under the maximum length, you can possibly get 2 or 3 firings out of them before you have to resize them. Maybe next week we'll talk about annealing, which I don't do near as much as I should.
I'd like to talk about that too, but I was going to wait until Willie was here and we were going to do this together.
That's moving, Rune.
There's reasons for that one. Hi, Meg. Bye, Meg.
Hey, Meg, what's up, buddy? There you go, mainly. You got to do what you got to do, man. Oh me, what's going on with 67 Rebel? Oh man, that hurts, Cranky. I miss Meg. Meg, we want uh we want videos.
67 Rebel said that his mother went in for a hernia operation, and they had to cut it short. And they found more tumors.
Oh man.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm still trying to eat.
Well, I'm trying to catch up from reading the definition.
Stew.
It's too hot for stew here.
So I hadn't thought about that, Mr. Paul. Excuse
Bless
me,
you.
but you're absolutely right. Kyra, I have no idea, buddy. Yeah, but James, that's really the reason I like to size it so that I'm head spacing off of the datum line of the shoulder rather than the rim, the case rim. But I'm gonna put that aside. So
I was having problems with 45 ACPs not going off. And it happened enough at one of my trips to the gun range. I went and talked to the range master, the owner of the place, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. I'm using jacketed bullets, got them loaded with X amount of powder, using CCI primers, and he sits there and looks at it for a minute, and he goes, "You using a Dillon 550?" I said, "Yeah, as a matter of fact, I am." He said, "Your dials ain't set up right. Call me when you get home." I didn't have the size and die where the priming station is set up right, and apparently that quarter of a turn made a huge difference.
that's wild.
They would just it'd seat the primer just a little bit more and not make it go off, and then you could put it back in the gun. Sometimes it'd go off, sometimes it wouldn't. So I just got to where I was slinging them in the trash,
Oh, I didn't notice you being disrespectful, Big Al. But James, thank you, man. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I know Jerry loads for 30-30. We'll get his opinion when he gets done.
No, I do the same thing you do. Make headspace on the rim and on the shoulder at the same time, and I don't get any brass. My brass isn't getting overworked.
Right.
Yeah, I think you're the one told me that
Maybe.
when I first got into it.
Yeah,
I had a lot of problems with 300 blackout. I get split necks on the second firing of store bought brass. I'd shoot the brass, then bring it home and reload it, thinking I'm sitting on a gold mine when 300 first came out. Take it to the range, blow the side right out of it. I'm like, the heck? And then I did a little research into it. I was way overworking it when I was resizing it. I was not annealing it. So I left my dies set up the same way, and I started annealing it with a propane torch. And I would get like 3 more firings out of it, and then it split the neck on those. And this was not, homemade brass. This was factory brass that I was reloading. And I found out it was because the headspace was wrong.
Okay. Vanessa, excessive headspace. Let me go back and pull up our drawing again. Okay. And then I'm going to. All right. Can we see this? There you go. Vanessa, excessive headspace is when this distance is too long for the cartridge, which means that you set the shoulder back too far when you're let me see if this, can you see my cursor on there, Kyle? You can't, can you?
No, sir.
All right. So
Well, wait a minute. Yeah, it's just
all right.
It's very small.
So right here, your shoulder is back this way too far. Okay, and that the way I look at headspace is not in a two-dimensional linear thing like this drawing right here. I look at it as 360-degree three-dimensional measurement. Because let's think about it. If we've got our shoulder set too far back and we got flop in our chamber, our ammo, our loaded round of ammo is flopping around in that chamber. Uh, your your accuracy is going to be crap, man.
Well,
Because that
it's weird because you got to look at the term headspace. You got to focus on the space part of that term.
right,
Excessive head space is too much space, which means it's too short.
it's too short, and it also can be too skinny, too small in diameter. So if you're that that puts the round is let's say this is your chamber, and then if that's too small, it's sitting down here on the bottom instead of being right in the middle where it's supposed to be. Does that make sense? And
It's
so
actually a huge part of rifle reloading, especially if you're doing anything that you're going to go shoot a longer distance than 50 yards. Not only is it bad for the brass, but it's terrible for your accuracy if it's wrong.
right, you're going to that um, the the projectile's going to start out of center, just like having bad concentricity, too much run out, that kind of thing. Yeah, so yeah,
And too little headspace, like on a bolt action firearm, you'll notice that it's really hard to close the bolt. That could be done from a couple of different things. Either the cases need to be trimmed and you didn't catch it when you were reloading it, or your headspace was uh, too long. You didn't bump it out. You didn't bump it back far enough, and it'll lock that piece of brass up in the chamber because essentially the brass could be touching the rifling, which could cause a massive overpressure problem. And actually, when Tack and Brenda were down here and we were shooting, we actually had that happen. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm getting rid of this brass and buying all new brass and going step by step every time because that was spooky.
that is that is spooky. Excessive headspace is going to cause you to have bad accuracy and bad function in the firearm. Uh, when the headspace is when the cartridge is too big for the chamber, which is too little headspace, then you got danger.
Dangerous problems.
Right. Yeah, one's bad, the other one's worse.
I grabbed the rifle, finally got the bolt out of it, had to beat the case out of it, and I put it in the case and stuck it in the truck. And we went for the next 3 days without shooting it. I'm like, nope, I don't trust it. I'm going to have to go back and check all these rounds, and I don't have the equipment here to do it. But we had a lot of fun with pistols and 22s, and we probably shot 1,022 rounds. It was fun.
Yeah, full auto definitely requires more headspace just for function of the gun.
Yep,
But
the number one problem with your full automatic firearms is headspace and timing.
headspace and timing.
And what we say in my industry, when a truck driver comes in complaining about a problem that doesn't exist, it's operators, headspace, and timing.
Hey, that's not a way to talk about me.
And I'm not talking about you. You don't come in there bitching about stupid shit. I'm sorry. Excuse my French.
How do you know?
So,
Well,
Miss
you've never been into mine.
Not your shop.
Miss Kitty, that can be the case. It's not supposed to be the case. The round is supposed to be, the brass is supposed to be supported by the chamber.
And it also
Now,
depends on the taper of the brass. Some brass, rifle brass, is almost straight walled, and then you have the bottleneck at the end. Some of it is not. If you overwork the brass and you have too much head space, as in you compress the round too much, it will sit there and wobble in the chamber, even though it is the same caliber and all that. It's just not far enough up in there.
Could I interject something? If you
Sure.
have excessive headspace, especially on a rifle cartridge, you're going to start overworking your brass,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when you start getting splits and blown out shoulders and things like that. So you want to make sure your headspace is not going to stretch your brass and overwork it. Am I right or wrong? Or
No, you're right.
okay.
absolutely.
I just want to interject that. Sorry.
No, man, that's why you're here. You're not interjecting anything. You're a part of the discussion. So yeah, that's what we're doing here, man.
And did you? I had to go get me another bowl of stew. Did you mention that excessive headspace in a semi-auto pistol would cause it sometimes to not fire because headspace is off the mouth? Or did we get to that?
Yes, yes, that's what I was saying about my 45.
Okay.
The way the dies were set up, and the guy named the press that I was using, so it's apparently a common problem. Uh, he said, "You're using a 550." I
You
said,
know,
"Yeah." He goes, "It when doing it on a Dillon, for some reason, it won't seat the primer deep enough if your die's not set up. I don't know why.
and you can
If it's
also
not set up right, or
have
the
your
base plate is not correct."
you
So he
can
said, "Call me when you get home." I mean, I'm friends with the guy, and I'm like, "Okay, so what's the deal?" He said, "First of all, do this, and then do this, and then do this, and then do this. Load up 10 rounds, take them, and shoot them. Problem should be fixed." I'm like, "Well, that's the way I set it up." He goes, "Yeah, that I'm telling you, this is your problem." Okay, went out and shot those 10 rounds. Beautiful, no problems at all. Out of multiple firearms, so
if your brass is too long, you can also have your slide not going into battery too.
you're right,
uh, because it's head spacing on the chamber mouth, and if it's
right.
just the slightest little bit too long, any kind of little bit of dirt or maybe even just a little sliver of lead in there,
That
boom,
that was one of his things too. Take that base plate off your shell holder. Take that off. Clean everything. He said, "How many rounds have you loaded on that thing?" I'm like, "A couple thousand." He goes, "Have you cleaned it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, spray it off with some air, stuff like that." He goes, "No, take it apart and clean it. That'll probably fix your issue, but your size and die is not set up right." I'm like,
Let's
"Okay,
let's think about this. Uh, if if the brass, the cartridge, loaded or otherwise, maybe let's talk about this. Let's say this is the exact same size as the chamber. It ain't gonna go in there, and it's not going to be. It's not going to feed reliably, and yeah. So, um, by nature of what we're talking about, our loaded round has got to be some smaller than our chamber, or we can't shoot. Right.
right."
So that being said, yeah, um, you need to get it right. James makes a good point. Jerry made some good points. So yeah, it's got to be just right. So I think James Vesky's going to send Room some 45 ACP brass. Yep, that's exactly right. Good stuff, Rebel. So if you are, let's say this is a factory round, and I'm putting it in my bolt action 270, which is what this cartridge is, and let's say that bolt is hard to close. What's that telling us?
You have too little headspace or too long a brass.
The
Or
cartridge
wasn't
is too
properly
long for
sized.
that. Yeah. The well, it's factory. So what's happening here is my the person that made the company that made that manufactured the gun and the company that manufactured the ammunition not on the same page. They're not paying attention to what Sammy's telling them.
Yeah, see, I've never had that problem with factory brass.
I hadn't had it with factory brass, but I've had. And what I found out was the factory brass for that 300 blackout that was split in the case necks after one reloading is, first of all, the brass was too thin at the neck and the brass was too short. So when I would shoot it, it would fill out to my chamber. And then I'd go to size it again and all that stuff. And without annealing it or anything like that, because I didn't know about any of this at that time, uh, I'd seen a couple of things on it, but the next time you shot it, it split the neck right in half, Which the first time I was like, cool, now I got a dummy gauge, because you can just slide a bullet in and out of it at that point. But that was the problem. The brass was actually too short. It didn't even. I had one more box of it, and I started measuring stuff. I'm like, this is 8 thousandths too short from the factory.
Yeah, but the
But
answer to the
it was head stamp 300 BLK. So it was made to be 300 blackout. It's not like they took some Lake City and chopped it and all that. This was actually, I'm not going to mention the manufacturer, but it was actually store-bought manufactured brass.
so basically, Vanessa, Kyle said all that to say, yes, that's correct. To your
Yes.
question there on the so yeah firing the brass should be a mirror image of your chamber. That's for sure. And GGW, that's why I said that earlier about what I did about 3030 brass. So yeah,
I'll be right back, guys. Please hold.
okay. I don't know where that came from. So, and y'all are running off and leaving me again because I'm talking and not keep reading all of y'all stuff.
I'm still here. Okay, so you are by yourself.
No, no, man, y'all, y'all are awesome. I'm terrible. That's what I'm saying. If a Dillon 550 is too loose, it can allow the brass to lift and make the primer have to travel further to be seated. I can see that. I can see that. That's right. Yeah, that's what we use as a sizing die, Miss Kitty, to get it right. It's a Dillon reference. Oh, small block Chevy, big block Mopar. Okay, good question, Tim. Let's expound on that for a minute, Jerry. Uh, Um, yeah, that is a good question.
I've
We
never had
size,
any. I've never had any trouble with my 45 ACP with headspace. I've never trimmed brass. So
yeah, basically we're not trimming 45 ACP, so your size and die is doing all the work. But the 45 ACP, 40 Smith and Wesson 9 millimeter. Uh, I haven't trimmed any brass for any of those in a long time, and when I did, um, it was because I didn't know any better.
well, there are some people that trim, and I've heard their argument and why they trim, and I understand that they want consistency, but I don't know. I must have a very unforgiving or very forgiving 45 ACP because it eats just about anything I put in it. And,
Yeah,
and same with 9 millimeter. Well, I do have some nines that were picky. The most nines that I've ever shot have been pretty forgiving.
well, me too. Um, my Taurus PT-111 that my sister took away from me, it was not picky at all. But buddy, let me tell you, that CZ75, it's a very tight chamber, and man, it just shoots. It just shoots. Yeah,
Right. That what Tread says right there. If he needs to trim any straight wall pistol cartridge, it's for consistent crimp, and
right.
that's the argument for trimming. And me, I guess I just never been so particular. I just throw it through my dies and put it in the pistol and shoot it.
Yeah, that's true. You guys are on it. Bye, Room. Good night, Room. Yeah, that's a fact. Hippo, good point. Yeah, but Vanessa, any of us will be glad to help you any way we can. Um,
That's why we do this.
absolutely, that's why we're here. Good night, mainly subsonic. Yeah, we should probably show a couple of those too. And that happens. That does happen, Tread.
If I got a rough edge on the brass, I toss it. I've got thousands.
Yeah, some folks might not though, especially somebody that's just starting out.
That's why I tell everybody when you go to the range, sweep it up. If they ain't gonna take it, somebody can use it. Oh, which one of you dogs ate a comforter?
That sounds like my sister's or my daughter's dog. She just got a dog, and we went over to her house last night, and there was fluff everywhere in the living room. I guess her new dog decided she wanted to eat a pillow.
It happens, man.
Goodness gracious! This is this
And
is what I just walked into. See if I can get it here.
yeah, that's about what my daughter's living room looks like.
Uh, mm, it'll be in the morning before anybody sees it. We all know which dog did it.
What I'm finding is most any straight straight wall case ain't going to stretch. Like I've not noticed any stretching in my 350 Legend brass.
I
I,
got
I
one.
I got a couple of 44 mags that I measure, and they don't change. And I've got like 5 firings on them. I'm looking for the longevity of the brass. I bought some new ones. I had some sent to me, and I rounded some up, and some of it just factory ammo that I'm reusing. And I'm not seeing any stretching on it.
There you go. That's it, Papa's place right there. So there you go, Miss Kitty. Maybe that'll help you out some too. Um, I have been, Pops. I'm thinking on some of my 357. I'm thinking about taking 100 pieces of the same head stamp and trimming those just to have a consistent level to crimp on.
Right.
But not that I think they need. Well, there you go, Mike. I didn't know that. That's
Yep.
cool, Dave.
Dave ain't wrong. 303 British. It's a good round.
I did not know that. Yeah, send me a picture, Tim. I want to see this stuff.
Huh.
Yeah, Lakeview, I'll get in touch with you. I'm working on a package to send to a brother. So, dang, Jesse.
Smart man.
Yeah, he's got his heart in the right place.
They probably bring that aluminum cased ammo.
Hey, in a pinch, you can reload that too.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I've done it.
Yeah, I tried it.
I'm not recommending it. I'm just saying.
So I say I've tried it one time. One time's all it took.
I haven't even looked yet, Dave. I'm busy as a one-arm paper hanger. I'll check it out as quick as we get over there. Yeah, Lakeview, we're gonna get together a package, buddy, and we're gonna bless a couple of guys that I have in mind. I bet it'd be a great hunting rifle.
All I want is a Humvee with a turret and a Barrett on top of it, and I'll be happy.
I reckon.
And I hear you can get those pretty cheap in Afghanistan, man. Because nobody wants to de-engineer that damn diesel engine they put in them damn. You try to sell one of them to the Chinese, they're going to go, oh no, no, I don't want.
Going
I
right.
don't want these.
Number
So,
10.
Andy, does it help? Does it help with the consistency of your crimp? I can't see how it wouldn't, but I know it's not really a necessary thing. That's right, HIPAA. I hope I'm saying that right. And GGW, I do not know. I'm lost here, buddy. I'm trying to. Okay, okay. Since we're on 45, what diameter uh, set on a 550? Some of these guys can help you, man. We'll get the answer to that.
on a 45 paper crimp.
Yeah,
It. I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but it's in the loading manual. That's what I set mine to. I really hadn't played with it a whole lot. All you're doing is just uh, seating the bullet and putting a small little crimp on there. It's not like a roll crimp with a revolver. I pretty much set the die up. I run the round up, make it touch, back the ram down a little bit, and go about maybe half to three quarters of a turn, and look at it.
yeah. I don't know what y'all talking about. There you go, Kyle. Call Akbar.
Ah, aloha, Akbar. Como estas?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yep, he ain't
All
wrong.
right, come on, Rebel. Get your mind out the gutter.
I'd have to look at in some of my note cards and stuff like that. Um, I found with my Dillon, I set it and forget it, especially when I started only reloading cast bullets in it, because all the bullets are the same. After I size them and all that, they're all the same. And I found that it doesn't move, it doesn't migrate on you, and I set it right to that spec in the reloading book, and it was great. Now, if I switch up to a different cart or a different projectile, which I still have a lot of, factory store bought projectiles, I will back everything off and check it again. But all I've been shooting out of it's cast for a long time, and that's all I've been loading. And it's like a one of them little easy bake oven. Just set it and forget it. You know.
I love you, buddy. You're too funny. Yeah, that could be, man. That could be it, GGW.
If
Because
overtime,
uh, I don't, I don't think I can find any right now. Well, no. But what happens when we get that blowback on our cases when they come out of the gun? You can see carbon and you know burnt powder and stuff on there. That's because that thing didn't seal. So you need either um, it may be a weak charge or it may be not sized properly. Or it may just be some hard brass that needs to be annealed. Yeah. Well, I hope you get them soon, man.
we won't be able to. We won't be allowed to have them. Well, only our enemies can have that stuff.
I came out of the reloading room to that. Not trying to throw you in the middle of something, but Baloo's going, why is there all this fuss shit on the ground? And Rebel's over going, uh, look out, boys and girls. Y'all give me just a minute, okay? I'll be
Uh,
back.
concrete slab thickness is going to be dependent on um, how much weight it's going to support. For example, um, parking your lawnmower and motorcycle 4 inches thick is probably thick enough, but if you're going to pull a car on it, it needs to be 6 to 8 inches thick. Tread. You need enough crimp to hold the bullet till enough pressure is built up to seal the brass to the chamber.
Right. I
Did you?
used to over I used to over crimp all of mine, and then I realized that I didn't need to put nearly that much crimp on everything, and my stuff's been firing just fine without it.
For bolt action rounds, I don't crimp. I mean,
I just take any taper off of it and get it straight again, so it'll chamber into the throat.
I think one of the things we overlook, particularly with our precision reloads, uh, the stuff we want to shoot out to a distance. Um, Bullet setback is dependent more on your neck tension than a crimp. Don't you? Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, on a rifle.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, it's neck tension that's critical in a rifle. You're not going to get really consistent neck tension with the pistol because of the way you got to flare one to get the bullet to start. But on a rifle, once you size them and everything, and that should set your if you got the neck sizing die, then that's going to get your consistent neck tension, and that's what's going to hold your bullet is the neck tension.
Exactly. Uh, Particularly with rifle.
Right.
Yeah. Cool, man. His problems went away. It's amazing. Yeah, 470 for 45 ACP because you're talking about the diameter of the bullet plus 2 times the thickness of the brass. So yeah,
The base is 473 on 45 ACP, the same as 30-06, 270, and all that family. People probably
yeah,
don't
but
realize that.
it's shaped weird, man. You know, a lot of these cases, particularly the semi-autos, they got a lot more flare than you think. They really do. Willie don't crimp any of his bolt gun rounds either.
I
You
run
know,
mine through. I run mine through a crimp die, but that's just to make sure there's no flaring or anything, and it doesn't even touch the end, but it does help the neck be consistent in size.
especially with cast bullets, you got to, don't you? I
Yeah,
mean, you have to flare the case out to get a cast bullet to go down in there. So you got to
and it'll swell that neck up enough to where you won't get it into the throat.
won't get
Um,
it in the
the
chamber.
the case won't go in, and so I started doing that a long time ago. And if you looked under a microscope, you'll never see a crimp on the end of the case mouth, but uh, you will see where the dye ran down along the neck to smooth it back down a little bit. I probably don't shoot as many cast bullets as I used to, but I still do them every now and then, especially in 30-30 and 308.
I don't know if that's right or not, Tread, but that's how I would have spelled it. And what we mean by obturation is that mushroom and that uh, marshmallowing. Because you think about it, what happens is you got the bullet and sitting in the chamber and it's ready to go, and the pressure comes up on the back end before it actually starts leaving. So what happens is it shortens up a little bit and blows out a little bit, really grabs that rifle and starts turning, and it's gone. Right? That's what obturation is.
Makes the base of the bullet fatter so it'll grab the lands and grooves and going out.
Sorry, gentlemen.
A 2,000 crimp on my bolt action round. I don't do any on my bolt action round. I might do a little bit um, if it's intended for hunting, just because I'm gonna be banging it around and climbing up and down. Yeah, you got to a little bit cranky. You just got to, man. It ain't gonna fit in the chamber if you don't.
If it's a bolt action rifle, I put enough crimp to get rid of the flare. If I'm shooting lead bullets, to get rid of the flare that I did to put the bullet in there. That's about all I do.
Dang, Al.
Well, we can't wait to see the results of that one. Oh no, they hit turkey. Now turkey's pissed. Hmm. Did they really launch a drone attack, or is Al just having a little fun with us?
I
Or
think
cranky?
he. I think he's. I think both of them are.
That's cranky.
Yeah.
Thank you, James. You have a good weekend too, sir.
Good
See you
night,
soon.
buddy.
It is getting a little late. I had to throw me some hot pockets in the toaster oven. Then Karen came down from upstairs with all the dogs and had to take care of all of that.
Yeah, man, we got to get off of here.
Right. Yeah. That's what I think. That's what you and I were saying in different ways, Jamie. What Tread just said. When your case neck obturates, then you're not getting the blow by. And if you've got a weak charge, you get blow by on your brass. So
Yeah. Yeah, and that, in my mind, the way I see that obturating is the brass obturates at the bullet first and then goes back. Because when we have stretch in our brass, it comes from the web down there at the bottom of the case head. That's the thickest part of the brass, and that's where our head space is. So that's the part that stretches. Anyway, guys, we got to go through the room here and get off, and there ain't but three of us. So uh, knock 'em dead tomorrow, 6-shooter Texan.
sorry, Lakeview. I love you, Lakeview. Like a brother. You know that. I'm not giving you anything. Sorry. 45-foot yacht. Mint
It sure
condition
does.
Emerald Grand.
There you go. Okay, Kyle. Well, Jared, what do you got working on? What you got coming up this week? Good night,
Work.
Andy.
Just work. I go back to work again tomorrow, head back over to Reno, and then when I get home next week, I've got to meet with the design studio for the house builder. We got to pick out all of our options and flooring and cabinets and colors and light fixtures and name it. And that's next Thursday. So I mean, I really don't see any shooting coming up. I'd like to get some reloading, but it just seemed like I made a big mistake. I'm home on the same day my wife is, so honeydews come first.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, well, I don't
And
know.
then next Friday I'll probably be back to work on my birthday. So
Well, dang it, man.
Yeah. Well,
6-shooter Jackson says that. Oh. Yeah, says he needs paint. 6-shooter Texan, all the stores are out. We're busting our tails and we can't even keep up.
I need some paint too. I got a couple
hey,
of
man.
porches and stuff that need to be touched up.
Yep, 49 again. Exactly. I'm going to have another anniversary of my 49.
Well, there you go.
Gotta love it.
Okay, Mike says design studio. Yeah, but before they'll build your house, you got to let them know what you want in your house. That way it's your house. It's not some spec house.
Well, that's why you tell them I want like walls,
Nope.
floors, a couple of doors, air conditioning. Gotta have air conditioning.
2. I actually get two AC units and 2 furnaces in this house. But no,
I
I
mean,
mean,
it just sounds weird. Well, I'd like that for there to be walls and maybe some
no.
windows.
But
Windows would be cool.
one of the first things we did when we first set up the initial design is what type of elevation or the front of the house, and we wanted rock up about a third of the way, and then put the hardy board up. And most
Right.
houses just have the hardy board, and then the 3 sides are stucco. But we wanted a 3x5 shower where the big soaking tub was in the original design, so they had to change the plans of the house to put this 3 foot by 5 foot big marble shower in the master bathroom because they had to remove 2 windows, so that's a structural thing. The elevation was a structural thing. The big patio at the bottom of the stairs, that's a structural thing. So then we have the base price of the house. Now we want a gas range in the kitchen. We want the big freestanding hood over the range. We want all laminate flooring on the main floor, and we can put carpet upstairs. But their plans call for carpet in the living great room, whatever you want to call it. And we want certain colors, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot of little things that we want in our
Yeah,
house and make it our house.
yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff to swallow at once.
Okay. So, Kyle, what you got coming up?
Well, still not sure if I got to work in the morning or not. Think I'm gonna take a little break from society and go visit my parents on Sunday. So I'll go up there and have brunch or something like that with them. Uh, Go up, take a little ride through the mountains where it's a lot cooler. I talked to my dad today, and he goes, I asked him, I said, is it hot up there? And he goes, it's warm, but man, the air's so thick you got to chew it before you can breathe it. I'm sorry, I thought that was fun. I ain't got a whole lot going on. Me and Willie got some plans when he gets here. and I didn't want to divulge too much of it tonight because we're going to make a video on it when he gets here. It's been a couple of weeks in the making, but I got to do a little work on my part too. I got to do a little brass prep and trimming and stuff like that. But yeah, that's about where I'm at.
Good deal, man. All right, guys. We thank everybody for joining us tonight. Yeah. Remember those that we found out tonight that were sick, and y'all add them to your prayer list. And we got Reloader 762's daughter. We got the pastor, Georgia Boy 44. See, I start calling names, I'm gonna forget somebody. And I already have
got Levergun's 50's wife.
Levergun 50's wife, and somebody else too. I can't remember. Thanks, Floyd. Thanks, guys. The most I saw up tonight was 54. There's 54 y'all coming in to watch us. That's awesome. You guys,
leave a thumbs up.
Yeah, put a thumbs up out there, guys. That way they'll get out our notifications more, and if they do anything. But anyway, we thank y'all. We hope the Lord blesses y'all all real good. We'll see you next Friday night at 8 o'clock. Lord willing, we'll see y'all then. Say good night.